6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headline: the Prime Minister performed the groundbreaking of the state-of-the-art Jinnah Medical Complex in Islamabad today to provide free treatment facilities to the deserving patients. The Information Minister says Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is acting like a pressure group to accomplish its violent agenda to derail economic stability in the country. The Foreign Minister of Turkmenistan will pay a 3-day visit to Pakistan from tomorrow. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference says the Modi-led Indian government has snatched every right, including the right to speech and political activities, from the Kashmiris. In Bangladesh, the Supreme Court has scrapped most of the quotas on government jobs after week-long violent clashes, which resulted in 115 deaths. In the Women's Asia Cricket Cup 2024, Pakistan will face Nepal at Dambulla in Sri Lanka today. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif has expressed the government's determination to provide state-of-the-art free healthcare facilities to the deserving patients. Addressing the groundbreaking ceremony of Jinnah Medical Complex in Islamabad, the Prime Minister said the complex will be the region's one of the best medical centres where the deserving people would get 100% free medical treatment. He said this is the gift of the coalition government not only for the residents of Rawalpindi and Islamabad but also for the people from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. He said once completed, the medical facility would offer the world's best healthcare facilities for various diseases related to the heart, kidneys, lungs, cancer and others. Furthermore, he said a modern first aid emergency section would also be established at the hospital with the facility of air ambulance services for patients belonging to the far-flung and inaccessible areas. Shahbaz Sharif said a nursing school and laboratories would also be established in the hospital and the deserving patients would avail 100% laboratory test facility. He specifically thanked the chairman Sultan Ali Alana and Prince Rahim Agha Khan for providing technical consultancy support free of cost for the project. He directed the authorities concerned to complete the project in 1 year. The Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Ataullah Tarar, says the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is acting like a pressure group to accomplish its violent agenda. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, he said political instability and economic uncertainty is the agenda of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and they are continuously trying to damage the state. He said a deliberate attempt was made by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf in Bannu to create chaos and law and order situation. The Information Minister said innocent youth are being exploited for nefarious and ulterior motives and ultimately the youth suffer difficulties. He said the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf during its tenure resettled terrorists of banned outfits in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Ataullah Tarar said Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf founder is being provided with all the required facilities in prison. He said the government is making hectic efforts to bring economic stability and growth in the country and reforms process has already been started in this direction. Pakistan has strongly condemned the attack by a gang of extremists on its consulate in Frankfurt, Germany. In a statement today, the Foreign Office conveyed strong protest to the German government over the failure of its authorities to protect the sanctity and security of the premises of the Pakistan's consulate. The statement mentioned the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations 1963, under which it is the responsibility of the host government to protect the sanctity of the consular premises and ensure security of diplomats. The Foreign Office said in yesterday's incident the security of Pakistan's consulate in Frankfurt was breached, endangering the lives of its consular staff. It urged the German government to take immediate measures to fulfill its responsibilities and ensure security of the diplomatic missions. The president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, has proposed to establish a joint media working group to promote mutual understanding and counter misleading narratives. Addressing media at the opening ceremony of the second Susha Global Media Forum at Susha, Azerbaijan, he appreciated Pakistan's media for its supportive stance. Azerbaijan's president remarks followed a successful state visit to Pakistan, which resulted in the signing of 17 agreements with a focus on investment opportunities, bilateral trade, and defense industry cooperation. The Foreign Minister of Turkmenistan, Rasid Meredov, is to pay a 3-day visit to Pakistan from tomorrow. He will hold extensive talks with the Deputy Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, Mohammad Ishaq, and call on the Pakistani leadership. Talks between the two sides will cover all aspects of bilateral relations. They will also exchange views on regional and global developments. This is Radio Pakistan. In a historic development, the Benazir Income Support Program has started the registration process for the Sikh community in Bunair, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The registration process has commenced in pursuance of the directives of the chairperson of the Benazir Income Support Program, Senator Rubina Khalid. Benazir Income Support Program field staff is actively conducting surveys and deserving Sikh families to include them in the program. The chairperson Benazir Income Support Program also directed the staff to address the issues of all minority communities in Pakistan and to assist them in every aspect to ensure their registration and inclusion in the Benazir Income Support Program family. The Governor Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Faisal Karim Kundi, has stressed the need for devising a viable financial plan of public sector universities in the province. Talking to the Vice Chancellors of Gomel, Hazara, Bannu and Kohat universities in Peshawar today, he directed them to take practical steps for the elimination of drugs in the universities. Faisal Karim Kundi said the public sector universities should enhance connections with international institutions to ensure preparing market-based manpower. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference says the Modi-led Indian government has snatched every right, including the right to speech and political activities, from the Kashmiris. In a statement in Srinagar, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference spokesman said the Indian government is using brute force and black laws to silence the Kashmiris' voice for freedom. The spokesman said regime has allotted land to Indian troops and built new camps and temples aimed to transform the Muslim-majority Jammu and Kashmir into a Hindu territory. Meanwhile, several socio-political groups at a meeting in Jammu threatened a relay hunger strike if the decision of granting more powers to the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor is not revoked. In a related development, unemployed agricultural graduates held a protest march in Sopore, criticizing the Indian government's discriminatory policies in the occupied territory. 64 Palestinians were martyred in the unabated Israeli strikes and bombardment across the besieged Gaza during the last 24 hours. The martyrdom toll of Palestinians in the continued Israeli aggression in Gaza since October 7 last year has crossed 38,900. The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has expressed deep concern over the Israeli airstrikes inside and around Hodeidah port in Yemen. In a statement, Antonio Guterres called on all parties to exercise maximum restraint. In Bangladesh, the Supreme Court has scrapped most of the quotas on government jobs after a week-long protest and clashes between the security forces and the students. At least 115 people have been killed in clashes over job quotas that sparked students-led protests. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina Wajid's government had scrapped the quota system in 2018, but the lower court reinstated it last month, sparking the protest and ensuring government crackdown. The local media had reported scattered clashes earlier in the day between the protesters and the security. Cricket. In the Women's Asia Cricket Cup 2024, Pakistan will take on Nepal at Dambulla in Sri Lanka today. The match will start at 6:30 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Earlier in the first match of the day, India beat the United Arab Emirates by 78 runs in Women's Asia Cup at the same venue. And finally, the weather report. Mainly hot and very humid weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, windstorm and thunder showers is likely in Kashmir, northeast Punjab, Pothohar region, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and southeast Sindh during evening and night hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.